you today? I don't know about you, but with the holiday weekend, I feel like today is Monday. Even though I know yesterday was Monday, Memorial Day, but every time we have a holiday on a Monday and we get to Tuesday, I guess because the work week, so to speak, starts, I always feel like the Tuesday is Monday. So if I'm a little off, just that's the reason why, because it doesn't feel like a Tuesday. But I am happy to be here with you. I hope you all had a good weekend. And I would love to know. I'm going to go over here to my comments. Oh my goodness. Somewhere I'm hearing something coming up. I don't know what this is. Ah, that is so weird. Have you ever been doing something like what I was just doing and something starts playing? It was on another tab that I didn't know realize it was open, but I didn't know it was going to start playing. So I was hearing something else. I don't know if y'all heard that, but anyway, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm glad you're here. If you are out there and want to leave a comment, I would like to know you're there. Where do you live? And what was one thing you did this weekend that you enjoyed? We were I don't know, it was a pretty quiet weekend overall. But yesterday, how do I put that? I might go back and catch on that in a minute. So I would say, no, it really wasn't very quiet. I'm thinking it was. Excuse me. But yesterday, I am so sorry. Yesterday, we went over to, in Justin's neighborhood, they have a pool. So we went over for a couple of hours and let the kids swim in the pool and just had a nice time of being together. So it was nice because it was Justin and his two little kids, my grandkids, and Alicia and Henry, and then Bill and I. So it was nice. It was just a nice time. Oh, thank you, Kathy. Thank you. I love both of these pictures behind me. The one that has the monument over here, and then the eagle kind of blended in with the flag. So thank you. So how are you, Kathy? Did you do something fun? Did you get together with family? What was something you did over the weekend? Because I know Memorial Day often is when families gather together and just spend time. I think partly because with a 3-day weekend, you get off your schedule a little bit and you can make those different kind of plans, which makes it nice. My I am so sorry. So excuse me a second. I'm going to mute just for a second. Now, what's weird about that is I have not done this all morning. So it must be getting my throat going because I haven't really talked too much, although, I was up with Henry. So we have Henry and Alicia here for the summer, and we're just loving having that. As a matter of fact, Alicia's moving back. And so we're excited about having her back. And so it was nice. This is our first holiday with that happening. And so just enjoyed that. And Memorial Day always really makes me think of my dad, even though my dad was not killed in a war, foreign war, which is Memorial Day basically, began as a day of honoring those who gave their lives for the country. And it's sort of expanded over the years to include all of the wars, and then also including those who are serving now. And one thing, being a Air Force brat, so my dad was in the Air Force. But when someone in your family is in the service and serving, whether it's wartime or not, the whole family serves because whoever, if it's the mom or the dad, in my case it was my dad, when they're out of the country or when they're doing a TDY, which is a temporary duty someplace, it does affect the whole family because the dad or the mom is gone and the person at home, so my mom, is the one who has to take charge and take care of the kids and do all of that. So it really is a commitment from all of the family. So all of you who have those who are serving right now or have ever served, just want to thank you for your service. Even though I know it's like, well, that's not what Memorial Day really is, but it does help us to remember that those that are serving and protecting our country, this wonderful country that we have, which is how I started out. The comments for today's message is just, I really am proud to be an American. I love that song. I sing it a good bit when I go to different functions. Lee Greenwood song of Proud to be an American. I just love it because it just sort of, I don't know, touches your heartstrings, doesn't it? I should have pulled up a little video of that, or played that during the show, but I didn't. I just now thought about it. So, uh, if you get a chance to listen to it, it does. And um, remembering too, I think it just calls us to remember our country and being grateful to live in a country where we can. Um, we have our freedom to, we went to church on Sunday. That's something we don't even think about. It's like you can go or you don't have to go. It's a privilege that we that we have, and that we can just share what we believe. And although our country is in a turmoil and everything's not great, and I'll just, most of you know, I mean, I do not agree with what's going on with the administration. I think they're basically doing a terrible job. So there's my political statement. But here's the thing. When I grew up, and this has changed a lot through the years, but when I grew up, you honored the country and you honored the position of the president. Whether I like him or not, whether I agree with what he does, which I don't, he is still the president of the United States, this country. And until November, when it may change, that's what it is. So there's a certain thing about having respect for our leaders. And the Bible talks about that, to honor and respect our leaders. And as we just, we've just completed, I just sort of feel like this whole week is Memorial Day. It's kind of Memorial Day. And every sale, okay. If people think of anything on Memorial Day now in today's world, I think it's all about all the sales. Every company has big sales, all the furniture companies, and get your appliances. So Memorial Day is also come down to thinking that it's a big sale day, right? That's not what it was originally set up for. That is for sure. I want to see here. I had looked up some information, and I'm wondering where it went. Usually it's on my, I just have it on my dashboard here, but I don't see it. But as the first official Memorial Day was in Waterloo, New York. They actually have a sign that says, I was going to look and see if I could find that for you. It was on my tab. I don't know where it went. That says, "Welcome to Waterloo, New York, Memorial Day," and I think it was 1866. My mind doesn't exactly remember that right now, but later on, I could always post that for you because I thought that was very interesting. And it started in small communities and towns, and then different states made a special day. And then it, became the holiday. And back in, let me see if I can catch this real quick. I thought it was interesting. When they did the revamping of all of the holidays and tried to set up federal holidays that had 3-day weekends, Memorial Day, instead of being, I think it originally was May 30th, and then they changed it so that it's the fourth or the last Monday of the month is what it is now. That is so weird when you lose things. I don't know where they disappear to. So you're having to just listen to what I read 20 minutes ago, you guys, and I don't have the details exactly, but I can post them for you. But I thought it was very interesting. But now that so now it is remembering anyone who has lost their life in one of our wars, all through the many years of the wars that our country. Yes, Kathy, when Sundays were no shopping days. That was amazing. And I remember as a teenager in particular thinking, why can't I just go do something on Sunday afternoon, right? No school, already been to church and wanted to go do something. And there was nothing to do. Nothing was open, no shopping. You're absolutely right. And then that changed somewhere in our lifetime. I think probably even before I was 30. Do you remember, Kathy, when that began to change and stores started opening? I also remember, too, the fact that I was talking to somebody about this. We did not have sports activities on Sundays. So when my kids were little, I remember the transition happening. But in the beginning, we did not have soccer games or practices or tournaments on Sunday. That was like from our Christian background and our country being founded on faith, everybody, most of the people that you knew in your neighborhood went to church, and we went to church, and very often, had family dinners. Most of the time we had family dinners, sometimes went out. And then we just enjoyed the day. The kids went out to play. I went out to do whatever. Like I said, when I was a teenager, I did want to go shopping, but there was nothing to go shopping. There was no place to go. And now, you know, Sunday is just like any other day. I know that's not Memorial Day, but we're kind of just talking about general things here. But I do remember that. And the other thing was, as that began to change, I think we were in Overland Park during the time when most of the time, in and out, when my kids were small, and Justin in particular was playing soccer and things. And they did not have practices in those earlier years, but by the time he was a teenager, by the time he was in high school, there were, because I remember that there were track meets and stuff that would be on Sundays. I just thought that was so awful, because families have so little time together. By the time the kids are in school all day and they come home, and if they do have homework or something, you just have those few hours of dinner time and then getting ready, to go back to school the next day. That I just thought it was terrible that they began putting all that stuff on Sundays. And the reason we were told that they did that was because there were so many kids and so many teams, they could not get them all in on like the Friday nights or the all day Saturdays. There just weren't, there weren't enough hours to get everybody's schedule. So I guess I could understand that. But at the same point, I remember when it began happening, I said, it's going to change life forever. It's one of those things that now Sunday was just like any other day. Hey, Lisa, good morning. Keep Sabbath holy. Let me see. My youngest boy asked, when asked if he kept the Sabbath day holy, he was 7, said, I don't know, but I'm grounded on Sunday. But I'm grounded on Sunday. Oh, that is, so that was his perspective. I love that. That's cute, Lisa. Thank you for sharing that. So, but I think it's just such a great time to remember again that we do have the choice to go to church on Sunday too, or not to go, or all of the things, the being able to be on here like now and sharing our ideas and our thoughts. And there's a lot of criticism out there. The whole Facebook thing could be a very good blessing. And I have to say, I've been really blessed in that I haven't had anybody really bombard me or, be cruel or whatever on any of the things that we've ever talked about. So I appreciate that. But I know that there is a lot of bad mouthing for Christians out there. Those of us who believe in Jesus, that know that, really celebrate the resurrection of Christ. And, there's a lot of people who want to criticize us for that. It's like, well, you can just go ahead. But we live in a free country, and we can have our own beliefs. And I respect other people's beliefs as well. And that's because of the country we have. I love our Constitution. I love the fact that, it's pretty amazing when you think of the men that put it all together, in our Bill of Rights that we, especially when we get into election year, there's a lot of talk about that, the various amendments. In particular, one that's talked about a lot during election time is the Second Amendment. But our freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and just being proud to be part of this country. And some of the neighborhoods that we were driving through over the weekend, our neighborhood, there's a Boy Scout troop that you could go, and I think it's $50 a year. And these Boy Scouts come out and they put a flag in our front yard. It's about a 4-foot flag, and they've made a little holder in the ground. And I would love it if everybody in our neighborhood did it, but not. But so there's 4 or 5 of us on our street, and a couple of others as we drove out of the neighborhood. And then we drove past, when we were out driving over to the pool yesterday, we went by a cemetery, and it was just beautiful to see this whole block of flags. And they were also bigger ones. Oftentimes you see the little small ones that are just on the curbs, and I love seeing that. But these were, again, probably 4 or 5 feet tall. And it makes me proud. It makes my heart swell to say, yes, we live in this free country. And it's up to us to make sure we stay that way. As again, we're in an election year. So whatever that looks like for you, I'm just going to say, go out and vote. Whatever you believe, whoever you support, as we get into the year, have a voice. Let your voice be heard. Let's celebrate these occasions together and celebrate that we can, because not every country has that right. We Many of you have met a young woman that I've had on my show before, and I probably will reach out to her again. She's still a little bit in transition, but she is now, let's see, I think she just turned 19, and her name is Vilina, and she is from Ukraine. And she moved from Ukraine to Germany. So now she's in Germany. So she's considered a German refugee. But while she was in Ukraine when I first met her, and Kathy has met her, as a matter of fact, how we met her is through one of the HNP shows that Kathy was a host, and she just showed up. She just needed some positivity in her life, and I don't remember the details. Kathy would know that, but somehow or another, she wound up there, found out about Kathy, and then I've kept in touch with her, as several of us have. But it was one of those things where y'all, she was in war. I really can't imagine that. We're celebrating Memorial Day and we celebrate our holidays. Nobody is at our door, with guns. We don't hear bombs and war actually going on in our neighborhood. And she did. There were times when they lost power. There were often times when she could hear the bombing in her own house, could hear the bombing going on between, Russia coming into Ukraine. And it's beyond my imagination because I've never experienced something like that. And those of our service people who have been involved in some of in some of those wars, whether it was Afghanistan or Vietnam or wherever. Bill was in Vietnam, so he served over in Vietnam. But a lot of people in our country, there's a lot of service people who have served, and I just want them to always know how much they're appreciated. And whenever I see them, when I see someone in uniform, I try to make a point to thank them or smile and give a nod, something to acknowledge who they are. And I think it's nice to have these holidays that cause us to remember that. The other things, I think, just making that list. How we talk about let's be grateful. Let's be thankful for the things. Thankful for our country. Thankful for our freedom of speech. Thank you that we can get on virtual media and be able to share ideas and thoughts. Thankful to. The list goes on so much, but particularly thinking of in our country, since that's what we're talking about more today, many things to be grateful, basically grateful to wake up and say, hello, Lord, what are we going to do today? How can we be a blessing to others? And I think too, that when we have the occasion, if people are bad mouthing our country, I think that there may be those times that we can stand up and say, I love our country. I don't agree with all that's going on, but I love our country. And I'm going to do everything I can do within my sphere of influence to make a difference, to help us remember the good things, help us to remember, these inalienable rights that we have. I did ask Henry, something came up. We were driving in the car, and I'm not sure, and I don't usually listen to the radio in the car, so I'm not sure how it came up. And I started saying the Pledge of Allegiance. And I turned around to Henry, who was in the car seat. Henry, do you know this? And first he said no. And so I started saying it again out loud, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. And I could see his lips moving a little bit. And then he did tell me that they do that in his school. So they do it in his school, but he didn't have it quite memorized yet. He's been in kindergarten. So I love the fact that they're actually doing it, because I'm not sure that a lot of schools are still doing the Pledge of Allegiance. And it's important. I think it's important for us to know those things. And I know that the national anthem is a hard one to sing, but when you hear it, just sing along. It's not like you're standing on a stage like all of the many celebrities who've done it. But when you're in a group and you're at the ball game and they're doing the national anthem, that just the standing of respect in your hand over your heart. This is probably a good thing. We'll probably talk again about this stuff on 4th of July, but learning them, like knowing the words, sing along with, no matter how well or not so well that you sing, but singing them, having them come out of your mouth, not just in your head and singing them, but when you have that chance to sing along with. When I was in Las Vegas, I was able to lead out at the Republican Women of Las Vegas, and I was able to lead in the Pledge of Allegiance and sing the national anthem each month for the luncheon. And the cool thing, I decided early, when the very first time I did it, that I was not going to do it as a solo. There's lots of ways to sing it, and emphasize certain things. But because I feel like people aren't connecting with it as much, I thought, everybody needs to sing it together. So the first week, well, the first couple months, I printed off word sheets because I wasn't sure that everybody actually knew the words, because it's very seldom you get to actually sing it. Even at ball games, usually there's a soloist that's singing it, and sometimes it's not so easy to sing along with them. So anyway, we just all sang it together. It was wonderful just hearing the whole room, sometimes 40, 50 people, singing the national anthem together. It was wonderful. So anyway, I had that little tidbit for the day. And I think it's just important to, when we can, to take up for our country. Good, bad, or indifferent, we are a free country, and we each have a place. We each have something to say about it, to support who we want to support, and pray. Oh my goodness. That is something we all can do. Let's pray for our country. Pray that we will be the country that God wants us to be. Be the strong Christian women, most of y'all that listen to the show, men and women, who come together and pray for our country, that God's will be done in our country, that we will be the country that He ordained to be. We were one nation under God. So, all right. Well, that's my little ditty for the day, my little bit here. Thank you so much for being here every Tuesday morning. And I just look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you, Lisa and Kathy, for doing a little shout out there. Love that. And take care, everybody. Remember that life is not a matter of chance. It is a matter of choice. So choose wisely and go out and make it a fabulous week. Bye now. Oh, wait, I forgot an announcement. 12 o'clock Central Time, we have our Zoom networking. So join me on my Zoom page. You can go to the Fun Fearless and get that address. It actually is, after you put the front stuff on, 702-510-1212. I'll stick it in the comments in a little bit if you want to check back. And join us at 12 noon here on Zoom. And I'll look forward to seeing you there. And that way we can all actually have conversation and talk back and forth to one another. All right, go out, make it a fabulous week. Mwah. Bye now. Thank you.